All right, we're back and live again. Sorry about the in abrupt end to the previous episode part of this Wargaming 2022. Everybody, I don't know what the fuck happened. My internet decided to take a shit on me, like literally like 7 minutes or so into the last video and whatnot, and then it just it was being all wonky. I was trying to end the broadcast as quick as possible, and then I didn't get a chance to end it, and there was a couple minutes of dead space there, but. Yeah, so basically, as I was saying though, um, the previous part, JD tonight's debate with Tim Ryan, he trounced Tim Ryan several times. One of the big times was on the whole abortion thing, which the fucked up part is even the media people that were moderating the stuff refused to bring that part of it up, dude. How it was an illegal alien that raped that 10-year-old girl, honestly. Which, mind you, that girl was 9 at the time that she was raped. She was the same age JD Vance's daughter is right now, honestly, dude. And the thing is, you look at piece of shit Tim Ryan and stuff like that. You had that was the thing I was thinking of actually. That was the other time where JD trounced Tim Ryan's ass. Was him talking about, and this is again something nobody else brought up, which was the whole kill and confront the mega movement thing, whatever the case be. To which bitch ass Tim Ryan, this little backpedaling little fuckboy piece of shit, 10-term congressman, 20 fucking years stealing our fucking money for his $174,000 a year paycheck, had the audacity to be like, "Nah, bro, I was talking about the people at January 6th, the insurrectionists," and all this other stupid horseshit. And it's like, fuck you, Tim Ryan. You are the goddamn insurrectionist, you fucking scumbag piece of shit. The people that were there on January 6th, that literally were let into the U.S. Capitol, you fucking douchebag, who have now been held for almost 2 years as political prisoners with no fucking jury trials, no fucking thing, indefinite detainment bullshit, dude. Yeah, fuck you, Tim Ryan, you fucking sack of shit, piece of shit loser. Dude, I'm so fucking, I can't wait. I can't fucking wait 4 more weeks for JD Vance to literally beat Tim Ryan's ass so fucking hard at the polls that Tim Ryan becomes an irrelevant little fucking cunt by the time this is all said and done, dude. Because look at what this fucker is right now, dude. Tim Ryan is the biggest sack of shit in history every time around the corner, dude. And the fact that we have yet to actually audit the 2020 fucking elections, dude, and prove that Tim Ryan most likely is illegally holding power currently in U.S. Congress is absolutely fucking ridiculous entirely, dude. And I want to bring that thing up because, of course, fucking dipshit Tim Ryan was all like, "Oh, JD supports the thing that 2020 was stolen," and everything like that. And it's like, well, there's a lot of fucking evidence, dude, that maybe should have been audited in all 50 states, including the state of Ohio, that was not audited, dude. When you had 2 states out of the 50 in this fucking country that audited any election part of 2020, dude, there's a big fucking problem right there. And I'll leave it at that, basically. And the thing is, with Tim's bitch ass, though, you had this motherfucker going a whole thing about like, "Oh no, I was just talking about the extremist part of Republican Party," or whatever the case be, and then he's basically sucking the dick of all the fucking establishment douchebag rhinos like Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell and shit like that. And then meanwhile, like 5 minutes later in the same debate, is all like, "Oh, but JD's totally taking money from Mitch McConnell for fucking attack ads and everything else like that against me." And it's like, dude, fuck you. Like, fuck you, Tim Ryan, you sack of shit. But yeah, it was interesting though because, like I said, they will have quilt bag questions be asked during this whole debate. Which by that I mean the LGBT people is what it is, dude. And the thing is, like, they'll ask those fucking questions, but yeah, they didn't ask a damn question at all about the Second Amendment, about Ohio's constitutional carry, about stand your ground, about any of that stuff, dude. Which those should have been questions asked. Honestly, it's like, yeah, where is your stance on Second Amendment issues? What it is, dude. We already know where Tim Ryan's is, dude. The motherfucker's voted with the Democrat Party 100% of the time on gun control, dude. He is a fucking anti-gunner. He is a fucking piece of shit that wants to control the U.S. population. And then his fucking rhetoric talking about murdering people that directly gets Kyler Ellison murdered like 3 days later. There's not a fucking coincidence in that, dude. You can easily tie that together, dude. When you have Tim Ryan literally talking about the shit and it was like 2-3 days later, this kid named Kyler gets murdered in North Dakota. Like, yeah, there's a huge fucking problem right there, dude. Huge fucking problem. And the fact that Tim Ryan's not currently in handcuffs as an accessory to first-degree murder is everything that's wrong with this country right now, dude, entirely. And that's the 3 to 4 tier justice system we have in this nation right now, dude, where you're a fucking politician, if you're a Democrat politician, you can literally get away with fucking helping people murder people, dude. Or calling for the murder of people and then having somebody actually murder someone and not catch fucking charges for it, dude. And the fact that Tim Ryan's own fucking words, his own fucking phrasing, is a direct definition of terrorism, and he's not been brought up on terrorism charges yet? Like, what in the fuck, dude? And like I mentioned many times on this channel with myself, dude, as someone who has been federally swatted in the past, I did less to get federally swatted than Tim Ryan has done as a sitting congressman. And it's like, dude, what the fuck? Like, I get a fucking knock on my door from some FBI agents, and this motherfucker is still walking around in Congress and shit? Like, are we in fucking Looney Tune land at this point? Seriously. It just blows my mind, man. It really does. It really does. It's fucking insane. But anyway, we're gonna go and talk about this AP article about tonight's debate and stuff like that for a little bit. I actually do want to mention something before everything that we get into this whole thing, though. Nan Whaley was bitching and moaning because, like, from what I was reading earlier today, actually, there was supposed to be a debate tonight as well during the same time period as Vance versus Ryan's Senate debate and stuff, of DeWine and Whaley having a gubernatorial debate, which did not happen apparently. And I was like, what the hell, bro? That's fucking bullshit. And yeah, I guess it didn't happen because either DeWine backed out or he just didn't have time to do it, is what it was and stuff. My thing is, it's like, okay, whatever. Have it at some point, some other time is what it is, dude. And if he doesn't want to have one, he doesn't want to have one, you know? Again, that's his fucking caveat as a sitting governor is what it is, dude. The thing is, like, that dude has fucking busy work to do, man. As governor of this fucking state right now, dude. He's doing a bunch of shit, honestly. With the last few months of, you know, potentially his term in office right now. And meanwhile, Nan Whaley's not doing a fucking thing except in the campaign trail every day because she has no fucking job is what it is, dude, because she's an ex-mayor of Dayton now is what it is. But going back to the democracy thing I mentioned in the last episode, though, or last part of this episode, and the other half by there, the first part that was like about 8 minutes or so, was the whole, you know, all these retard Democrats talking about our democracy, everything else like that, even though we're a constitutional republic. So this basically led to this response to dipshit Nan Whaley earlier tonight, which was Nan Whaley's dumbass talking about Mike DeWine owes it to Ohioans to debate. His refusal is an insult to voters of our democratic norms. To which I said, it's because DeWine is doing his job keeping our constitutional republic running, something you shuddered as Dayton mayor for over 450 days until we the people sued your ass into reopening. So, yeah, needless to say, I think I basically called her out pretty good on that one. But, yeah, fuck her. Fuck Nan Whaley, seriously, man. Not literally, because she is an ugly fucking slug-ass cunt is what it is, dude. Just in general. And then we have this one from Tim Ryan earlier tonight that was right before the debate itself that I want to talk about real quick because I responded back to this one as well. And this was during the debate, so I responded back to this one as well, dude. So you had Tim say, hey, folks, I'm about to take the debate stage. Before I do, let's show the GOP just how strong this team is. Tell me why you're on Team Ryan below. I said, we're not, because you're a cheating, lying sack of shit, Tim. Prepare to have your punk ass handed to you at the ballot box in 4 weeks. Like, seriously, I can't wait for this fucking cocksucker to lose so fucking hard, dude. And I made it clear, honestly, dude. If something does happen where either Tim Ryan or Nan Whaley manages to, quote-unquote, win those particular races, I'm suing this state, dude. Because they do not have the votes. They physically do not have the amount of people in this state that are voting blue right now, dude, that would allow them to actually take either one of those seats down, whether it be the U.S. Senate seat or whether it be the governor's seat. And it would only be through massive voter fraud that they could take them right now. And whether that be a bunch of illegals in this state voting for their asses or whatever the case be, dude, where it would be massive voter fraud some way. And it's like, no, that's not going to happen on my fucking watch, dude. And I will not sit back and let that shit happen here in Ohio without a massive fucking court battle and potentially a massive physical fight after the fact if I would, you know, lose that court battle is what it is, dude. Because I will fight these fuckers tooth and nail, dude. And I mean that seriously. And hopefully it would just end in a court battle, honestly, at that point, dude. Because like I said, if you want to have... And that was another thing, too, by the way, with that. The debate moderators asked both Vance and Ryan tonight. They're like, oh, would you accept the results of this election? And it's like, they were both like, oh, yeah, for sure. And it's like, yeah, of course they're gonna accept them if they win. I guarantee if they don't win, they're going to be like, no, I was totally cheated, bro. Now, granted, in Vance's case, that would be the case if he didn't win. But yeah, my whole thing is it's like a bunch of crap entirely, dude. And like I said, it's a bunch of shit, honestly, to me, that they didn't have any Second Amendment related questions at all on this whole thing, or anything really relating to big tech censorship or anything like that, dude. Because that's another thing too. Like, I get it was only an hour debate, but still, like, again, that's why you give them a minute or two or whatever it is, dude, to respond to the shit, and then you rein them in after that is what it is, then, dude. And my biggest thing is, it's like, yeah, why the hell wasn't there, a more precise thing in all this situation? You know what I'm saying? And I think the problem was is that you had all of them basically not give a fuck. And that's the problem right now with our society in a nutshell, dude, is people just not giving a fuck. And it's unfortunate when you have, good people doing great work in some cases and then, bad work in other cases. And then you have other people who just don't give a fuck at all is what it is, man. And that is an issue right now with our country, honestly, in a nutshell. Is you just have people that just don't care is what it is. And I think it's very sad. And I think it's also very telling of how we are in a constitutional republic right now, where you don't have these people that actually want to do their job and, call out the shit when they see it or whatever it is, dude. And would rather just fuck off and be like, oh no, that's not really happening or whatever the case be. Or it's like, oh no, they don't know what they're talking about or whatever the case be here. And it's like, yes, we do, dude. And it's like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, bitch. And that's the problem in a nutshell right there, honestly, dude. It's these dumbass motherfuckers who want to sit there and, bitch and moan and babble on or whatever. And instead of actually, discussing like real fucking topics and discussing like, okay, why do people believe that, there was some shady shit that went down a couple years ago? And it's like, maybe we should talk about that. Maybe we should discuss that. Maybe we should, I don't know, have election audits and actually have election fucking integrity is what it is, dude. But oh no, let's just keep on fucking, no. Biden totally got the most votes in human history, et cetera, and all this other bullshit, dude. It's like, fuck all y'all, man. Seriously, if you truly believe that 2 years on right now, dude, you are a fucking moron. And I'm just gonna say it like it is, dude. And if you're still voting Democrat in 2022, and you're still voting for Tim Ryan and fucking Nan Whaley and all these other retards here in Ohio, dude, maybe you shouldn't have voting rights anymore in this state or this fucking country ever again. Is what it is, dude. Or I would say that in general, dude. If you're voting for any Democrat in this election cycle, like, maybe it's time to just give up your voting rights entirely because you clearly are not smart enough to actually have them anymore. And I mean that shit seriously, dude. Like, there is a lot of dumb motherfuckers in this country right now that really should not be allowed to vote ever, is what it is. And it's a lot of people that vote Democrat, dude. A lot of people that vote Democrat. So, anyway, the entire point I'm trying to make is when you have people who do not care about a constitutional republic, who do not care about our actual fucking constitutional rights, and just want to sit there and bitch and moan. And that's the big thing about Tim Ryan too, right? He'll sit there and attack JD Vance all throughout this entire debate tonight, and yet not bring up a fucking thing about like how his own career is just a career politician, basically being a career politician for the past 20 years. That he's just a fucking joke, dude. Or how it's like, oh yeah, like, and thing is too, like, again, I think JD called it perfect for what it was, dude. And that's the big thing. That's the one thing I will give JD Vance, dude. He was very quick-witted on his feet right now tonight versus Tim Ryan. And it was basically every time Tim tried to distract and was like, oh no, I'm doing this thing, whatever the case be, JD's like, no, you're not, dude. It's a fucking soundbite that you had your people come up with is what it was. And he's right about that, dude. It's some bullshit fucking talking point that some random fucking person that works for Tim Ryan, that's like one of like probably like 20 people at this point, I'm guessing, honestly, like some congressional aide or whatever it was, dude, was like, oh yeah, we gotta talk about this stuff in the polls, dude, or go after this thing on the thing. Tim Ryan is a fucking puppet, dude. He is literally a walking, talking fucking ass clown, dude. And I'll tell you what, there was a time in history where liars used to have their fucking tongues cut out. And I think truthfully it's time to go back to that time in history again, dude, because if that were the case, Tim Ryan would not have a fucking tongue anymore, dude, because it would have been cut out a long fucking time ago, honestly. And the same thing with most of the Democrat Party and all the establishment Republicans for the matter as well, dude. They would be tongueless entirely. It would be like that Game of Thrones episode, the House of the Dragon one the other day, of where you had the dude in the prison cell and stuff like that, and they had like this hot ass fucking knife or whatever. They just like sliced a piece of the guy's tongue off, basically, is what it was, dude. But anyway, that's where we're gonna go to the AP article for this episode right now. And yeah, let me see if I can grab this up real quick now. I'm trying to do two things at once right now here. So Yeah, you got fucking jackass Tim Ryan picture there, which was a Ohio Senate debate with Ryan. Vance descends into attacks, which mostly it was just Tim Ryan attacking JD Vance, dude. Because again, the guy has no real platform to actually run on. He just has a bunch of attacks. It's like, oh, but and that's the thing too, right? And this is something my mom even talked about during the thing. She was like, because this is like the first 5 minutes of the debate. Tim Ryan's like, oh, but my opponent JD Vance is it supports this thing, whatever the case be. And it's like, or you could just shut the fuck up, Tim, and talk about what you support, and then let JD say what he supports, dude. Instead of just being like, no, my opponent he supports this thing. I'm just putting words to his mouth now, is what it is, dude. It's like such a fucking ass clown, dude. But anyway, it says here, it said, this AP article, it said, first debate between U.S. Senate, U.S. Democratic Rep. Tim Ryan and Republican J.D. Vance descended quickly into attacks Monday with the candidates for Ohio's open U.S. Senate seat, accusing each other of being responsible for job losses and putting party loyalty ahead of voters' needs. Which, mind you, Tim Ryan has been doing this for 20 fucking years as a Democrat, dude. Yeah, 100%. The same thing with costing Ohioans jobs and then some, dude. He's been shipping our shit overseas to China for fucking decades, what it is, dude. Anyway, it said Vance said Ryan had supported policies that led to a 10-year-old girl in Ohio being raped. He did, by the way. He does support that shit because, again, like I mentioned earlier on, you literally have Tim Ryan supporting open borders in this country, dude. And I'm sorry, but, like, you cannot have a fucking physically functioning country with open borders ever, dude. It just does not work. It does not work. Period. And if you think it does, I got a bridge in Alaska to sell you, bro. Seriously. Like, it's one of the dumbest fucking policies anyone could have, dude. And I'll say it like it is, dude. There are two main reasons. There's a lot more than that, but there's like basically two main reasons why the Democrat Party in this country wants open borders. Number one is they want a fucking voter base that they can move into this country and vote for them illegally. You know, again, election integrity. And number two, they want to undercut Americans' jobs with that same fucking voter base, dude. Because they know if they can get these people into our country and have them voting Democrat for decades, that what else can they do? They can literally undercut our fucking pay. They can have these people come in here as a workforce, take our jobs, steal our fucking money, steal our fucking, safety and security, and then want to sit there and bitch and moan about why we want to have fucking Second Amendment rights to keep and bear arms at this point, dude. And it's like, because you keep letting fucking illegals into our country that are going to rape and murder our fucking children, dude. What the fuck? You know, it's not that hard to figure out, dude. It really ain't. And that's exactly what the problem is right now, dude. It's these people that just want to sit there and fuck off, basically, and don't understand the real truth is what it is, dude. And that's why it's so damn frustrating when you're sitting here trying to have a real conversation with somebody about stuff, and they're just like, oh, no, that's not how it is at all. It's like, yes, it is, dude. 100% it is. 100 fucking percent it is. It's these people that just want to sit there and they don't give a shit about anything because, truthfully, people like Tim Ryan are a bunch of fucking racists, dude. They are the legit white supremacists of this fucking country. And just want to sit here and bitch and moan and babble on some more about like, oh, but this thing or that thing or that thing. And it's like, dude, when you're talking about fucking cops and Jim Crow and shit like that, dude, like you can fuck right off, dude, is what it is. And that's what Tim Ryan's been doing for decades now, dude. He is such a fucking ass clown, man. I swear to fucking Christ. And like I said, and people wonder why I want shit on the books to be able to fight this motherfucker legally at this point, dude. Like, that's why. Because I'm so sick and tired of Tim Ryan, dude. I am so sick and tired of him. I'm so sick and tired of the Democrat Party entirely in this fucking country, dude. And the same thing with the rhino-ass establishment, too, for that matter. Like, they can all eat shit and fuck off forever, dude, is what it is. And we'd be a much better off nation right now if that were the case. But anyway, I digress. But continuing back on with the rest of this article, though, it says... where am I now? Yeah, it said... Vance said Ryan had supported policies that led to the 10-year-old girl being raped, which is true. Ryan said Vance had started a, quote, fake nonprofit to help people overcome addiction issues, which, again, this is the thing. This is one of the attack ads that's been going on the last basically almost 6 months now since the primaries and stuff like that, dude, is Tim Ryan being like, oh, yeah, JD created some fake nonprofit or whatever the case be. Never gives you actual evidence that this thing even exists right now, dude. And it's the same thing like one of the other attacks that Tim Ryan went after JD Vance on, dude. It was like, oh, but you have some company that's been doing deals with China for years now, dude. And it's like, And JD was like, what's the name of this fucking company, bro? And Tim Ryan had no response at all, dude. Because that's the entire point right now. The dude is literally a fucking robot. He is a robot for the Democrat Party, dude. And honestly, when I talk about seriously, like, outer space aliens taking over people at this point, dude, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if that were true, honestly, dude. Like, you cannot sit here and tell me that somebody's been in office for 20-something years, dude. Potentially is still human at that point, dude. Whether it be they made a Crossroads demon deal for real, or whether it be that they've actually been taken over by some fucking alien, outer space style, dude, like the movie Men in Black and shit like that, where you got the Edgar suit and shit, dude. Like, seriously, do we have a Tim Ryan suit someplace, dude? Because I guess what it is at this point, seriously, man. I'm being half serious, half kidding, actually, at this point, dude. But, like, seriously, like, I would not be surprised with some of these people if they've been replaced by, like, some fucking, clone or something at that point, man. Honestly. But anyway, yeah, so let's see, so the two accuse each other of being beholden to their party, with Tim Ryan echoing a comment from President Trump calling JD Vance an ass kisser, and Vance saying Ryan's 100% voting record with Biden means he's not a reasonable moderate that he claims he is, which is true, by the way. He's not. And he, again, the whole Tim Ryan, I'm a fucking moderate. I'm not about uni-party bullshit at all. It's like, yes, you are, motherfucker. When you're talking about you're only going to vote with fucking establishment rhinos and shit like that, dude, like Liz Cheney, like, you are 100% a fucking dick sucker of the Democrat Party, Tim Ryan. And we're sick and tired of your fucking nonsense, dude. We've had it with your ass, and I can't fucking wait to vote against you in 4 weeks, dude, on November 8th. So, anyway. It's a face-off between Ryan, 10-term congressman, and Vance, a venture capitalist and author of Hillbilly Elegy, for the seat vacating by retiring GOP Senator Rob Portman. That's another thing, by the way. JD Vance shouldn't have said a fucking word about Rob Portman actually backing him for the seat, dude, because that right there is honestly a knock against you, at least in my opinion anyway, because it's like you have an establishment rhino piece of shit like Rob Portman being like, oh yeah, I totally backed JD Vance for this seat. I think really what it is it would not have mattered. It would not have mattered at all, dude, if you had anybody else in this race at all for the Republican seat, dude, is what it would be as the GOP nominee and stuff like that. Had not been JD Vance, it would have been, Josh Mandel or Bob Gibbons or somebody like that, dude. I guarantee Portman would have just backed whoever the pick was. And that's probably what it is, dude. So it's like, it's not really like he endorsed you. He just endorsed whoever the fuck the, generic person would have been at that point, dude. So, yeah. But anyway, let's see where right now. Yeah, it said, was one of the most contentious debates of the general election season so far. Race is one of the most expensive and closely watched for the midterms, with Democrats viewing it as a possible pickup opportunity in November. No, it's not. No, it's not. The only way that the Democrat Party picks up this U.S. Senate seat is through massive voter fraud and a shitload of you-know-what, man. It'd be some more 2,000 mule shit, honestly. I'll leave it at that, really. Because, again, I don't know exactly how much we can talk about here on fucking YouTube because of fucking bullshit, and I don't want to get fucking channel strikes is what it is. So, but yeah, you guys know exactly what I'm saying, though. It's a lot of fucking chicanery, man. Anyway, said both candidates sought to tailor their message to working-class voters who could determine the election and the upcoming evening peppered with barbs and one-liners. Said Ryan sought to paint JD Vance as an extremist, someone who advocates with crazies from his party who falsely claimed that 2020 said support national abortion restrictions and contributed to the January 6th attacks in U.S. Capitol. Quoting Tim Ryan here, it said, quote, you're running around with Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida, who wants to ban books, which, by the way, Tim never actually talks about what books Ron DeSantis wants to ban, because if he did, he would have to admit that the so-called books that, and as far as I'm aware, too, I believe this is a false narrative as well, dude, because I think what was talked about was it was DeSantis talking about banning material in schools that basically would push transgenderist indoctrination garbage on kids, dude. It wasn't about him like burning books or banning books or whatever the case be. It was him literally getting rid of indoctrination materials that was targeted at small children, is what it was. So there's a huge fucking thing there. And that's the big thing right now, is that if Tim Ryan was being for real and being actually upfront and stuff like that, not being a fucking scumbag piece of shit, 2-bit loser, talking out of both sides of his fucking mouth and his ass at the same time, he would understand that what is actually potentially being banned by DeSantis and company over down there in Florida is material that shouldn't even be in fucking children's schools to begin with, dude, because it's literally pushing transgender ideology on fucking kindergarten and first graders and shit like that, dude, is what it is. And that's why you have the parental rights bill down there in Florida. It's why Ohio has their own parental rights bills going through a General Assembly right now, dude, because we're sick and tired of this shit, because we're sick and tired of kids, small children, kids my niece's age and younger, being indoctrinated by a bunch of sick-ass goddamn fucking groomer pedophiles is what it is, dude, in our fucking school systems. But anyway, yeah, he said DeSantis about banning books, said you're running around with Senator Lindsey Graham, who wants a national abortion ban. Why isn't there is my question also on that one. Tim also claimed JD was running around with Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's the absolute looniest politician in America. Says the guy whose party has Ilhan Omar, Rashada Tlaib, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Ariana Presley, Cori Bush, what's that guy's name? Jamar Broman or whatever from New York. Fucking, what was it? DC Shorts put out a 7-minute video of every fucking Democrat that talked about defunding the cops in the past 2 years. And it's like, yeah, dude, you talk about Margaret Taylor Greene being the craziest dude, and you have like some of the most loony motherfuckers in your party, you douchebag, including yourself. Like, fuck you, Tim Ryan. Seriously, you fucking cunt. Like, I seriously just want to fucking, like, I'll tell you what, dude, if I could legally fight Tim Ryan right now and just take that fucking, like, take his place in this fucking race, dude, I would. Like, if I could beat him physically and then take the seat actually after the fact, I would, honestly. But then again, it would mean I would actually be a Democrat, which, you know, I'm not about that life anymore, dude. Nor was I really ever. It just happened to be, you know, default Democrat voters what it was. And we've discussed that in the past on here, dude, about, you know, how many people in America are actually default Democrats. It's just the stupid ones that actually stay Democrat after they wake up to shit. So, anyway. Let's see here. It said, Vance suggested Tim Ryan focus on allegation of extremism was meant as a distraction from pocketbook issues important to voters such as inflation and the price of groceries. Yes, it is, dude. Actually, that was one thing that did bother me, right? It was like the very beginning of the debate. You had, I think it was like the first or second question that was asked. And it was basically about like omnibus bills and Tim Ryan like voting for omnibus bills, or he supports omnibus voting and stuff like that's what it was, dude. And he just lied his ass off the entire time, dude. And it's like, dude, you voted for these fucking bills 100% of the time for the past fucking several decades of your career, dude. Like, just admit that you're a piece of shit, dude, and just walk away from that matter. Like, honestly, if this debate had lasted like 10 minutes with Tim Ryan basically getting trounced in that first 10 minutes and then just walking off the stage and just keep walking out of the state of Ohio and then just keep on walking towards fucking whatever the nearest coast is and just hopping off a fucking cliff into some shark-infested waters and doing everybody a favor at that point, like, we would all be better off, honestly, dude, for real. So, but of course he's not going to do that, dude, because he's a fucking, you know, piece of shit is what it is, dude. But anyway, yeah, it's like, quote, it's close to Halloween and Tim Ryan has put on his costume where he pretends to be a reasonable moderate, JD Vance said. Said Youngstown may not have lost 50,000 manufacturing jobs during his 20 years. Said Ryan said, I'm not going to apologize for spending 20 years of my adult life slogging away to try and help one of the hardest economically hit regions of Ohio and dictating my life to help the region come back. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, JD. You went off to California and were drinking wine and eating cheese, which is fucking hilarious because of the fact that Tim Ryan's sitting there helping Akron area, which is where he represented in Congress right now. It's like, dude, you have done nothing. You have done nothing for 2 fucking decades, Tim Ryan, for anybody in this state or in your fucking actual congressional district, dude. The only things you have done, sir, are take $174,000 a year that taxpayers fund for your fucking shitty fucking paycheck, shove it in your damn pocket, and meanwhile insider trade like a motherfucker the entire time to put millions and millions of dollars in your pocket on top of that, dude. You have done everything possible to financially benefit yourself, you fucking cunt, and have done absolutely everything possible to fuck Ohioans like myself over every chance that we get, including not only undercutting us with bringing illegal aliens into our fucking state to take our damn jobs, but also sending our fucking manufacturing overseas to China and other countries for that matter, and then turning around and sitting there and bitching and moaning about, like, I never did that stuff. Oh, I totally voted to bring the semiconductor stuff back to... You didn't vote for shit, motherfucker. What you did, Tim Ryan, is you went and insider traded like fucking piece of shit Bob Gibbs did days before the CHIPS Act was voted on, and then you sat there and voted yes on the shit that was directly funding your own fucking pocketbook, you fucking criminal piece of shit. And that's what I'm so... Like, this is what I'm saying, dude. This is why insider trading should be the death penalty in this country, dude. And I mean that seriously. Every single one of these motherfuckers who do that shit, dude, should be taken up to the fucking gallows and hung immediately. That's where it fucking needs to go at this point in history, dude. I mean, that shit's for real, dude. Like, we have high treason for a reason in this country, dude. And the death for high treason is hanging. And the fact that every single one of these piece of shit politicians that have been insider trading for decades now is not facing high treason and death penalty by hanging is everything that's wrong with this country right now, dude. And I guarantee you, if that happened to even a handful of these motherfuckers, dude, across the board, even a couple of them, you would have the rest choose life imprisonment immediately, dude. Because they would be like, oh, fuck, people actually are serious about, finally dealing with us accordingly is what it is, dude. And it's like, yeah, because you're fucking committing crimes for decades, and fucking over Americans every chance you get, to the point where you're now inflating our fucking national debt to the highest it's ever fucking been. It's like, Jesus fuck, man. Anyway. Let's see where we're at now. It's a J.D. Vance counter Tim Ryan's bullshit that he left Ohio to join military Marines when he was 18, and after working in Silicon Valley, returned to Ohio to raise his family and start a business, which is all true, by the way. Said during questioning about China, Ryan and Vance invested in China as a Ryan said Vance invested in China as a capitalist type of business move that exacerbated job losses in Ohio's manufacturing problem, and then went on to basically lies what it was. I'm not going to read Tim Lunch quotes. There's what it is. Said Vance said it is Democrat economic policies that have harmed manufacturing, saying they have completely gone to war against the American energy sector. He said he could not remember investing in China, because he probably didn't, is my guess, honestly. The thing is, too, right? Like, okay, this is the thing about venture capitalism nobody realizes, dude. From my understanding, and mind you, this is like the basis of my understanding of venture capitalism. Essentially, what you do as a venture capitalist is you take money that you have made through stock trades or whatever the case is there, and you take that and you find companies, like usually small businesses or medium-sized business or whatever it is, dude, and you invest in a portion of them for a profit is what it is, dude. You're basically like, okay, I'm going to invest in... It's sort of like what Shark Tank people do, is my guess. Venture capitalism way and stuff with what it is. It's like, okay, I'll give you, $100,000, whatever the case be, for like 5-10% of your business, whatever it is, dude. When you're doing that, you're doing that consistently for, 15, 20, 30 businesses, there could be one of those ones that did shit in China, dude, for all the fuck you know. But the thing is, if you don't have, like, boots on the ground knowledge of that stuff, you're not going to fucking know that either way. Whereas, meanwhile, Tim Ryan, the dude is literally fucking voting on this shit every day in Congress. He's been doing it since, like, 2002 to fuck over Ohioans, dude. Putting through shit in omnibus bills and voting on omnibus bills that are like 7, 8, 900, 15,000 pages, whatever the fuck it is, dude. Actually, there was one, the one that was under Trump's administration, where they did the boats to Sri Lanka and shit like that, dude. It was like an entire fucking dolly they had to bring that thing into, because it was like 70,000 pages or some bullshit like that, dude. It was insane. It was like 20 books stacked on top of each other. That was the amount of pages of it, dude. Actually, let me go ahead and see if I can find the picture of that now I'm thinking about it, dude, because that was a fucking insane picture. So, let me see right now. Look up omnibus bill dolly. Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to find the image of this thing because I'm trying to see if I can figure out what I want to actually bring up here. Fuck, it won't actually show it to me now. Like I said, it was basically them bringing in like one of those big ass dollies, and it was like almost all the way up to the top of it, dude. Like that's how insanely huge that thing was. But anyway, to rescreen share here though, real quick. Go back to that other article though for the AP thing. But yeah, it said on abortion, Vance did not. I love how this chick that wrote this is like, Vance did not answer the question whether he would support Lindsey Graham's proposed national abortion at 15 weeks of pregnancy. Yes, he did actually. He did actually answer that, you dumb bitch. What he said was, he's like, what he actually specifically stated was, how do you put it now? It was something along the lines of, should there be a national ban? And then it was like, there should be something like basically what he said it was, there should be something across the board, but it should be individual states that choose at what time they want to do it because, and this was JD's direct quote, there should not be kids being losing their lives when they are 5 months along in the birth. At that point, when a chick is 5 months along in birth, dude, that you should not have kids that can feel pain being killed in the womb, basically, is how he put it. I'm not exactly sure what it was stuff though, but I wish I could, but I don't know where they're at this point, dude. So like I said, it would have been impossible for me to get the sound bites for this shit, honestly, tonight. But yeah, it was where we're at now. Yeah, it said Vance said he thinks different. Yeah, there we go. Different states would likely want different laws, with some minimum national standard is totally fine with him. Exactly. That's what he fucking answered it with, dude. And that's what he means. It's like, should there be a ban across the board? Maybe. Should it be up to individual states to decide how far they want to go with things? Yes. And like he was saying there, it's like, Ohio's going to be different from California or New York or fucking Michigan or Indiana or anything like that, is what it is. It's like the exact, and honestly, I think he sort of said something similar when it came to kids and schooling and stuff like that, dude. It's like, yeah, what works for Ohio may not work for another state is what it is, dude. And he's right about that. Well, I've said it before, even with the, you guys have talked, when I've talked about stuff when I was running for office, doing the 6-year trades in schools with kids, dude. The thing is, what works in Ohio or it works in like a major city in Ohio, dude, might not work for a fucking town, a small town in Ohio, or may not even work for another major city in Ohio. It's going to have to be tailored individually throughout the districts and stuff across the board, dude. It wouldn't be some fucking, broad brush stroke of shit, because you're going to have to individually tailor what different sections and stuff are to where you actually have people who know what the fuck they are doing and actually want to do stuff, and you actually have exactly what the trades are that are in demand in those particular areas, is what it is. Because that's the thing, dude. You can have different things in different areas. You can have a major city that may need more people doing construction work, and you can have a small town that may need people doing plumbing work and stuff like that, dude, or vice versa for that matter, even. So, yeah, it's fucking ridiculous entirely. And like I said, what works for one area or one state or one city or whatever it is, dude, or, small rural area, whatever it is, dude, may not work for another part of that city or state or town or whatever it is, dude. So, but, yeah, as I said here, it said, JD called himself pro-life, but said there was always believed in reasonable exceptions. Of course, because Tim Ryan kept attacking him about like, oh, but you support everything, including rape of children, or including rape of fucking mothers to have the kids and stuff like that. And it's like, well, first of all, dude, like, stop putting words in the man's mouth. Number one, that's my biggest problem right there with Tim Ryan, dude. Number two, the thing, and I'll say it like it is, dude. You look at that Kathy Bennett woman who was running for U.S. Senate there in Pennsylvania recently, and she ended up losing that primary to Oz then. She admitted that she was a fucking product of rape. Her mother was raped as a child, dude. At like 14, 15, whatever it was, dude. In her like young teen years is what it was. And Kathy thanked her mother for wanting to have her is what it was, dude. And that's the thing, dude. Just because a child is born out of rape or whatever the case be, doesn't mean that they still shouldn't have the right to life, dude. And that's my biggest problem with all that shit, dude. It's like, is it horrible that somebody's going to be raped and that kid, potentially would be the product of rape and stuff like that? Of course it is, dude. But the thing is, again, that does not mean that child should have any less of a fucking right to human life and be able to experience every liberty as a human fucking being than anybody else, dude. So to me, that's just fucked up. And again, what these fucking sick ass sons of bitches like Tim Ryan and stuff like that want to talk about all the time, dude, is they never actually want to mention the fact that any of these things that we're discussing right now are very, very minute fucking circumstances, dude. It barely ever happens. Like the incest shit, dude, is like less than 1% or something crazy like that. The rest of it is way fucking lower than that. And yeah, it's just a bunch of crap, dude. It's these people that just want to sit there and do like fucking fallacy stuff because they know that they have no real actual fucking thing, is what it is, dude. And that's the biggest problem. Pieces of shit like Tim Ryan, dude, is that they have no actual evidence of anything. Because if they did and they saw like how low it actually is and stuff like that, dude, they'd be like, oh, really? Like, that's fucking crazy. And I'm not saying that they're going to sit there and support, like, okay, you know, yeah, we should support people being raped and shit like that. Because again, I'm not saying that at all, by the way. Just to be clear on that one, dude. I'm not sitting here saying like, oh yeah, we should support fucking rape of people and shit, dude. Fuck that. No. What I'm saying is it is way less than the Democrat Party and any establishment motherfucker wants to bring it out to be, is what it is, dude. It's like percentages of percentages is what it is, man. Does it still happen? Yes. Does it happen as much as they want to sit there and claim it does? Fuck no, it does not, dude. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do a mute for a minute here because I'm going to grab a video clip that we're going to play here in a sec then. All right, we're back. Grab this. So we got the clip here from, who was this from? Yeah, GOP War Room. Fair use, just so we're clear on that one. This is all fair use that I'm talking about right now, dude. So, you know, this is obviously educational purpose stuff too, by the way, just so we're all clear on that one, dude, because this is the network and we are here for education of patriotism and liberty and everything else like that. So, but yeah, this is JD Vance calling out Tim Ryan's bitch ass. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this up just a little bit to make sure everybody can hear this.
Is simultaneously they've borrowed and spent trillions of dollars that we just don't have, and that's thrown fuel on the fire of the inflation problem. And at the same time, they've completely gone to war against America's energy sector. And you can't do both of those things at the same time. They're each bad ideas, but when you do both of them at the same time, you're going to get record inflation, which is exactly what you expect to get. Now, Tim Ryan, of course, has supported all of these policies 100% of the time. And this really is the contrast on these economic issues between Tim Ryan and myself. I believe we've gone in a fundamentally bad direction over the last couple of years. I think people deserve to go to the grocery store without it completely breaking the bank. Tim Ryan has voted with these policies 100% of the time. Every single time he gets an opportunity to stand up for Ohioans, he chooses to bend the knee to his own party. Thank you.
Yep, and that is 100% true, dude. And that's the thing, right? Like, if you're gonna sit there and suck the fucking dick of the party, that's fine, dude. If you're gonna just suck Democrat dick all fucking day, Tim Ryan, you know, that's fine, dude. I'm sure there's gay guys out there that want to see that fucking porno, dude. Why don't you just make it happen, dude? For real. But no, seriously, man. You know, honestly, I'm dead serious about that, though, man. Like, I'm like, if there was a Tim Ryan gay porn out there, dude, and that's what they had in this motherfucker, would anybody be surprised by that? I fucking sure as fuck wouldn't. Like, if that was his whole claim to fame shit or whatever the case be, dude, and it's like, oh yeah, you know, if you say anything about us, you're gonna be the douchebag that's gonna be outed for this thing, whatever it is, dude. So yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. But I'm actually gonna go back to that that channel and see if there's any other clips from this debate tonight, because there might be some other stuff actually now that I'm looking at it. So, because we might be able to show some other shit too, then if that be the case. Let's see, go to videos here. Got Angry Joe Biden yells at reporter on that one. Let's see. JD Vance roasts Tim Ryan for ridiculous commercials paid for by pharmaceutical blood money. Yeah, that's true. He did say that stuff. Let's see. You got JD Vance hammers Tim Ryan for being an abortion extremist supporting abortion on demand. Okay, we actually are going to clip out that one because that's about a minute or so, and then we got some other stuff too. Let's see. JD Vance calls out Tim Ryan for focusing on January 6th, even as people can't afford groceries. Yeah, exactly. High Republican JD Vance, Tim Ryan has done nothing to stop the flow of fentanyl. No, he has not. No, he has not. And we also got a High Republican JD Vance. Fentanyl crisis way worse because of Tim Ryan's and Biden's open borders. Yep. So, let me see if I can grab this. Grab this one where he talks about the pharmaceutical stuff. Real quick here. And then, yeah, I don't think there's any reason to talk about that AP article anymore. But yeah, I feel like honestly going back in history to, if you look at what was I going to say there? The debate that Josh Mandel had with what's that girl's name? Morgan something or other. I think her first name was Morgan. It might have been her last name was Morgan. I'm not sure. I think her first name was Morgan. And yeah, he fucking trounced her ass in that one, dude. And I felt like, truthfully, like this was even worse for the Democrats in this one, dude, because it was basically JD wiping the fucking floor with Tim Ryan's ass at that point, dude. And yeah, like he definitely won 100% of the fucking time, dude, every single time. So I think really honestly, I'll say it like this, right? I think Tim Ryan got in a few small jabs here and there at JD over like some random stupid bullshit is what it was. But honestly, overall, JD 100% won this debate, dude. Like 100% won that debate. And it had a lot to do with the fact that people are just sick and tired of Tim Ryan's bullshit is what it is, dude. So anyway, hang on, I'm trying to do something right now. Okay, so yeah. Checking to make sure we had enough things here. So let's see, going back and doing this other clip here.
Now, here's the thing. If you're in Ohio and you've seen these ridiculous commercials that Tim Ryan runs telling dishonest lies about my nonprofit organization, it's paid by pharmaceutical blood money. Because the very same corporations that caused this poison to come into our country in the first place have funded your campaign to the tune of tens of thousands of dollars. Why are the people who've gotten rich off the opioid epidemic funding Tim Ryan and
you notice how Tim just has his arms like down his sides, like, oh fuck, I know I've lost this. Yeah.
And attacking me? The answer is obvious, because this guy is the biggest fan of pharma, and he's the biggest fan of illegal pharma, which is the Mexican drug cartels that are bringing this poison into our country. I just need a chance.
Yeah, and then Tim's like, oh, I just need a chance to talk about this stuff and have a retort, basically. That's like, oh, please cuck out for me, fucking Democrat moderators and shit like that. It's like, oh, yeah, for sure, Tim Ryan. Fucking ridiculous, dude. The thing is, though, like, and I'm not trying to, like, this was just something somebody brought up to me here in the comments is what it was, dude. This is why we're on this whole thing. But now, like, as someone who's watched the shit myself, I can tell you right now, dude, Vance won this debate 100%, dude. All Tim Ryan did, he does what every single Democrat does, dude. He projects and he attacks. He projects and he attacks. And sits there and wants to be like, oh, but you support this thing, or you support that thing, and stuff like that. And JD actually did what he needed to do, man. Like I said, the only thing I'll knock JD for in general, for the most part, dude, was actually being like, oh, I'm supported by fucking the outgoing guy, basically, being Rob Portman at that point. I wouldn't, if I was running for that seat right now, dude, and I was that GOP nominee and stuff like that, I wouldn't even say a fucking word about that, man. I'd be like, if anything, I'd be like, fuck Rob Portman. I don't want that Rhino Sacks of shit fucking endorsement. He can take it back. Like, truthfully, dude. Because you don't need it, is what it is, man. JD don't need it, honestly, man. So, Anyway, let's see. Is there any other ones I want to play here? Okay, that was stopping this little fentanyl. Let's see. Oh, actually, this was a good one. This is the one I was talking about earlier about the about JD talking about Tim's consultant lines or whatever it was. So we'll go ahead and throw that one up here real quick. So see if this one pops up here.
Thank you. I want to point out something that Tim Ryan just did. One, I answered the question about same-sex marriage, and I identified very specifically a couple of problems with the legislation. Tim didn't address that. He just pretended that it didn't exist. Because here's the problem with Tim Ryan. He spent 20 years in Washington, D.C. He actually doesn't care about the details of public policy, and I'm sure he didn't even read the bill that he voted on. What he does is he reads the canned lines that his consultants give him. You could respond to the argument that I made, Tim. Instead, you decided to pretend again that I have views I don't actually hold, so you can't. Look, it's insulting. Voters deserve somebody who actually respects their views and speaks honestly to them about the issues. That's not what Tim's doing tonight.
Yep, exactly. Like I said, dude, I think honestly, if you're going to look at stuff of how JD Vance won this Senate seat, that particular clip right there is going to be exactly how he won that Senate seat, dude. Because people are sick and tired of it. And the big difference between Tim Ryan and JD Vance is, dude, Tim Ryan, again, he's an establishment guy. He's been in fucking politics for decades now, you know. He doesn't give a fuck about the people anymore, dude. He just wants to basically do what he has to get back into office, whether it be legal or not, when it's all said and done, as long as he gets back into the seat of power, you know, as long as he maintains that ring of power. It's something I've been talking about on this channel for the past fucking 7 years and, you know, 5 or 6 years of stuff I had to delete out of here is what it was for various reasons. The thing is, though, is it's these people that the older they get and the more power that they get, they will never let go of that power, dude. Because they know that once they let go of that power, that ring of power, they are a worthless piece of fucking shit that has nothing. That they are just a random fucking person, dude. That most of the time they're just an elderly person that is just a decrepit old fuck, dude. Just like that decrepit old fuck Joe Biden right now, who literally has dementia, and yet they're somehow not 2050ing out of the fucking presidency. And it's like, dude, at what point does it become like this is a detriment to this country? Like, you're making us all look like fools at this point because you guys are a bunch of goddamn fools that did everything you had to fucking skyjack the presidency. And that's the thing, dude. And it's like, bro, like, at what point does it become criminal? At what point do these people get tried criminally? It just blows me away. Just blows me away, dude. Sorry, I'm trying to figure something out in my head right now for things. Let me see here. Ribbing. This one right here. But yeah, it's completely just flabbergasting to me how you have these people that will do whatever they have to maintain power, dude. Like I said, whether it be legal or not. And then you have, you know, people like JD Vance who, and the thing is, truth be told, dude, is JD Vance the best possible person for this seat of power right now? Probably not. I think there could be some better options out there. Some constitutionalists who don't have any money and, you know, want to run for office like myself and stuff like that would probably be better for the seat. But that's the thing. JD's the best we got right now, dude, is what it is. Like, he's the best that's out there that actually can, you know, have the cash and the capital and everything else like that and gather the funds and stuff like that together and get it done. The biggest thing is when you have people that just don't care, dude. It's fucking ridiculous, dude. And it just blows my ass away, dude, when it comes to certain shit. And then you got idiot and PA fucking John Fetterman just being even more of a fucking retard.
A congressional district that has lost 50,000 jobs just in his time in office. Those of us who...
Okay, I'm going to go back on that one. Sorry, I tried to pop that up and it started out before I was able to grab my thing tonight. You know, that's the thing too. I'm not even 100% sure there really is a lot of independence in Ohio anymore, dude. I think you're definitely going party lines at this point for stuff.
represents a congressional district that has lost 50,000 jobs just in his time in office. Those of us who create jobs know what it's like when you have bad policies, and we know what it's like when you have good policies. I'd like Tim Ryan to lecture me on my business background a little bit less, and maybe explain why the guy who's the biggest fighter of China had his own congressional district lose tens of thousands of good manufacturing jobs to China just in your time in public service. Can I answer that?
I love how Tim's like, can I answer? Can I answer that? Yeah, you can, bro. Are you going to answer it? No, you're not, because you're a fucking worthless, slimy sack of shit, dude. And that's the entire fucking point of the whole thing, man. Is you're going to sit there and act like, oh, I actually give a damn about the people. In reality, you're the one fucking scumbagging everybody, dude. Like, how can you care about the people, bro, when you're the one who's fucked us the most, Tim Ryan? Like, that's the thing I don't get, right? Like, how are you gonna be for we the fucking people, dude, when you've been fucking us all in the ass consistently every chance you get, dog? It's like, dude, at what point do you just say, dude, fuck you? Seriously. So, like I said, it just completely just blows my mind, honestly, dude, of how we're allowing people like Tim Ryan to even maintain power at this point in this country's history, dude, when they are some of the biggest fucking scumbags on earth, dude. And I think the thing of it is, I think a lot of it is, and like I've said it before on this channel and different things, whether it be the wargamings here, whether it be, the grandstand episodes, whether it be the 2A casts and stuff like that, it's that people have gotten lazy. People have gotten lazy. They've gotten distracted. They've gotten complacent. And, when you look at America as a whole, and I'm just going to say it like it is right now, there's a lot of overweight people in this country. I know that for a fact because I am one of them, dude. When you have people fat and happy, there's not a lot of fucking problems, dude. It's when you see shit like what we're seeing now with massive inflation, people can't afford fucking basic groceries, dude. You've got fixed income seniors right now in the state of Ohio, even, for that matter, or any state in this country across the board right now, dude, that cannot afford to eat. That is a fucking problem, dude. When you have American citizens that cannot afford to put food on their tables, and you got fucking pieces of shit elitist scumbag millionaires like Tim Ryan doing insider trading every day of their worthless fucking lives, dude. And people wonder why I'm fucking pissed. People wonder why I'm fucking pissed when he talks about kill and confront the MAGA movement when I am literally a fucking part of the MAGA movement. Yeah, fuck you, dude. You want to fucking threaten me, Tim? You want to fucking threaten my life, motherfucker? See what fucking come at me, bro. For real. You come at me and fucking confront me in the streets, bitch, and you see what fucking happens then, motherfucker. There's a reason Ohio is a stand your ground state. There is a reason why we are a constitutional carry state. And there is a big fucking reason why I am armed at all times, motherfucker. And it's because of pieces of shit like you, asshole. And it's because of fucking your goddamn constituency that would try to fucking murder me for wearing around a fucking MAGA hat, dude. It's because of the fucking pieces of shit that you let out of fucking prison and Kamala Harris bail funded in 2020 that were rioting in every major city across this country and trying to burn down everybody's fucking businesses and homes, dude. When they were beating people to death in the streets, your fucking BLM and Antifa buddies, dude. And then you got that fucking cunt Mazzy Harino when you have, I believe it was Ted Cruz was the one that was showing the video the day. Fucking Mazzy's bitch ass refuses to even fucking watch the video. Oh, let me grab my purse and pretend I gotta go take a piss now. That's what that fucking piece of shit from Hawaii did, dude, by the way. Mazzy's ass, dude. Mazzy Harino's ass. Yeah, she literally fucking walked out on that video, dude. Oh, let me show you this video of Antifa and BLM during the riots of 2020, dude. Oh, no, I'm not going to sit here and watch it, pretend it doesn't exist, dude. You want to talk about the worst kind of willful ignorance, dude, in this country? It's shit like that. And that right there is exactly why Mazzy's shit right there, dude, and Tim Ryan's bullshit all the fucking across the board, dude, is exactly why we must have automatic disqualifications every single power going forward in this country, dude, and have a 20th Amendment installed in the Constitution right now of auto DQs, both for running for office and for holding office, term limits, age limits, health limits. And it would be so much better over all across the board then, dude. At a certain age, you're aged out. At a certain fucking thing, if your health has declined, you can't even get into office, run for office, whatever it is, dude. Like, seriously, if you look at everything going on right now in this entire race across the board right now across this country, dude, whether it be John Fetterman in Pennsylvania that had a fucking stroke and is still trying to run for U.S. Senate, like, nah, bro. Like when you have this dude basically doing Biden gaffes every day, dude, and like can't even fucking say Biden's name correctly because he's so fucked in the head from his stroke and shit, dude. At what point do you say, nah, bro? We got to pull this dude from the race and replace him with somebody else, dude. You cannot, like, seriously. Even going back to something I mentioned here the other day with Allison Russo, dude, and them talking about replacing that one Democrat with another Democrat is what it was that won the race here. I assume PA has something similar to that, man. It's like, you can't tell me that there's not another candidate out there in the Democrat Party for Pennsylvania that they could have replaced John Fetterman, dude. And he wouldn't be all, and he or she wouldn't be all fucked in the head is what it is, dude. But no, they're going to let fucking meathead Fetterman, who can't even form a cognitive sentence anymore because he's so fucking stroked out and having mini strokes basically after the major one he had. And it's like, bro, just call it quits, man. Seriously. Like, just admit that you're a failed piece of crap lieutenant governor there and be like, nah, for my own health and for the sake of my family and for me wanting to be here for whoever, if that be the case, like, I'm going to drop out of this race. Like, that's all he has to say right there. But he never will is what it is, dude. Because again, these people, they just want the one ring, bro. They want that ring of power. They want to keep being powered up and think that as long as they hold on to the ring, that it's going to give them power. But in reality, it doesn't. What it does is it corrupts them to the worst possible way of the worst kind of evil that you could see in history. And that's why they're always accusing other people of being fucking Nazis when they're literally doing Nazi shit, dude. You know, there's a reason that like every 70 to 100 years or so, usually about every 80 years or so, give or take, that we start seeing that fourth turning because it takes roughly that long. It takes roughly 2.5 to 3 generations of people before you finally have people being like, okay, we finally got to that point now where weak men have created hard times again, and it's time for strong men to deal with the fucking hard times, come out of them strong, and make good times again. And like I said, I don't like if this country falls, man, if it falls, if it balkanizes, if it goes into civil war, revolution, whatever it is, dude, I don't believe it's going to be my generation or anybody that's older than I am for that matter. That's going to be the ones that are going to be, you know, the future of this country. It's going to be the generations after ours. It's going to be these people that are, you know, 10, 15, 20 years old right now that are going to survive the oncoming wars and shit, dude. That are going to survive the oncoming conflicts and are going to be these battle-hardened children, basically, that become the next generation of good men and women. Now, granted, will there be a few people like myself, maybe, that would survive and be like, you know, the elders of a fucking village or something like that? Probably. Or the elders of a fucking small town or whatever it is? Yeah, probably. It'd be like, oh, there's AR up on the fucking up on his porch smoking his pipe again, you know. And then you know people were like, oh yeah, you know, let's go up and hear his story about the before times. And then I tell these kids the story about the before times, and it's like, back in my day, everything was so great. You know, we had all these things and all these smartphones and stuff like that, and you know, the technology at our fingertips. And yeah, you kids today, man, you got it hard again because you don't have any of that stuff, and you gotta do everything you can to basically be smarter than the rest of us were, man. And yeah, I think, and again, that's the one thing I think when it comes to technology too. By the way, there's a blessing and a curse in it, dude, because you have the blessing of the tech itself, but there's also that curse of, you know, because you have everything right there at your fingertips, you don't actually retain knowledge in a lot of cases, at least from what I've seen personally with people. And unfortunately, when it comes to stuff like that, it goes bad real fast because you have people that just don't care anymore. And then people wonder, you know, why we're in a situation that we are right now in this country. And it's like, it's not that hard to figure out, man. It really ain't. The issue becomes, and this is really what the truth of it is at the end of the day, when you have people that just don't want to see, you know, what's in front of their faces at any given time, or just want to sit there and act like, okay, you know, this thing is this thing, whatever the case be in reality, it's a whole different thing entirely. It's like, yeah, man, there's a big fucking issue right there, right? When you have people that just want to sit there and basically, pretend that something's going on or not going on or whatever it is, dude, and then we'll sit there and be like, okay, everything's perfectly fine. The house is on fire and everything, but no, everything's perfectly fine, bro. Like, no, nothing to see here. And it's like, there's a lot to see there, bro. Like, the house is fucking on fire, bro. Like, I don't know, maybe get the fuck out, or I don't know, grab a fucking fire extinguisher and put it out or something like that, dude, for God's sakes. And nobody wants to do that stuff. And I think that's the problem right now with our country right now, dude. Is you have so many people that are just like, let's look at the cool fire in the corner instead of being like, maybe we should grab a fucking fire extinguisher and put this fire out. So, yeah, it's just craziness though. But like I said, I think the real problem with a lot of people is they just don't care. They just don't care anymore. And when you stop caring about everything and, you bash religion and you bash, modern day stuff and everything else like that, and you're trying to create your own religions and your own fucking cult mentality and stuff like that, you have a country that just falls to anything, dude, at that point. And, when people realize like all that shit's going on, and then you wonder why people are starting to embrace communism and socialism and stuff like that so badly, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out, man. It's because of the fact that it's literally indoctrination centers in this country. First it started in the colleges and then it's gone on from there, dude. And it's gotten so much fucking worse in the last 15, 20 years now. And it's because people, they don't care, man. They just want to sit there and do their own thing and act like everything's fucking fine when in reality it's not fine. It's not okay. And when they realize one day and they wake up and they're like, what the fuck happened? Kind of thing. And they come out of that, drunken stupor, if you will. And you try to explain to them, like, yeah, dude, this is what I've been seeing for the last 10 plus years now, bro. And it's one of those things where, there's a lot of people who I believe are asleep in this country, dude. And the day that they finally wake up, it's going to be a very interesting day because you're going to see a lot of folks for the first time in their lives realize exactly what the fuck was happening this whole time, dude. And when that happens, holy shit, things are going to get a lot different, dude. And yeah, I think you're going to see truthfully a lot of people that are just not going to have it anymore after that, dude. To where they're going to be like, why did we let it get this bad? And the question is going to be posed to them exactly, dude. Why? Why did you let it get that bad? And I think when they finally wake up and realize that, this was a bad deal all the way around, that's when you're going to finally see people wake up and be like, nah, bro, like now it's time to do something. Now it's time to take our country back. It's time to do what needs to be done and help everybody realize what the fuck was happening this whole time. And I think that's going to be one of the greatest times in this country's history because we're finally going to have a real active set of people who care enough and understand enough to where they're like, oh shit, they actually know what the hell's going on now, is what it is. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting. And like I said, I think when that happens, you're going to see a lot of people's fucking heads spin, dude. Because they're not going to know what the fuck happened and which way is up basically after that. And the day that that finally comes to fruition, there's going to be a lot of folks that are going to be like, oh, fuck. And it would be a lot of the same folks that would be like, oh, fuck, why did we ever let that thing happen here, dude, kind of thing. And it's going to be like, mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, dude, why did you ever let it happen that bad? And then those are going to be the same people that are going to be called out later on in life then. And I think, unfortunately, to some extent, what we're seeing now is the precipice to a lot of this. And we're seeing the sort of fall of Rome, if you will, when it comes to things. And I think there will be people on all sides of human history that have just finally had enough, dude. And I think we're finally seeing that, Renaissance era of this nation where you finally have Americans realize that for the first time, they actually have what it takes and what it means to be something. And they don't have to deal with career scumbagger anymore, dude, is what it is. And when you look at people like Tim Ryan, literal fucking demons walking around this country's earth, dude. That dude doesn't give two shits about anybody and will do whatever it takes to maintain power every fucking time, dude. And the same thing with Pelosi, the same thing with Schumer, same thing with Dianne Feinstein, the same thing with Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham, dude. All across the board. Does not matter if it's Democrat, Republican, what the fuck ever. They are all scumbags. They are all career criminals. And it's time to just have a complete redo, man. Term limits, age limits, health limits, automatic disqualifications. 20th Amendment to the Constitution. We the people create it. We the people make sure it gets done. And at that point in history, then, we start running for office ourselves and we start taking down seats of power and we come up with a better constitutional republic at the end of the day, dude. And it doesn't have to lead to some kind of crazy battle, doesn't have to lead to some kind of crazy revolt, any kind of balkanization, none of that, dude. It could all be done for the people, by the people, and for the betterment of future generations if everybody just said, no, enough is enough. Enough is enough of this shit. We don't want this crap in our country. We don't want these pieces of shit in our fucking political power structure ever again. It's time for them to get the fuck out. Get the fuck out and go. Forever. And once that happens, we will be a better nation as well, overall, dude. Our country will be better off for everything. But until we take that stand, until we make a fucking stand in the line in the sand and say enough is enough, say no, get the fuck out of here. You're not part of this. You're not going to run for this office. You're not going to be part of this thing. Nothing's ever going to change. It's going to maintain the same. It's going to be the same status quo bullshit. And it's going to keep being a bunch of career ignorant assholes in office, dude. And it needs to be different, dude. It needs to be something where we take a stand and say, no, enough is enough. Enough is enough of your shady shit. Enough is enough of your fucking shenanigans. We don't want you here anymore. We don't need you here anymore. You were never part of this. You were always part of the fucking problem. Get the hell out. Don't come back. We are done with you. And we would be better off. We would be so much better off. But like I said, I don't know. Only time will tell. Only time will tell if it happens or not. I hope it does. I really hope it does. If it does, great. If it doesn't, I will keep talking about it until it does, honestly. Because that's the thing, dude. I have all the time in the world right now to do things. I have all the time in the world to do things. And I have no problems calling out fucking scumbag bullshit when I see scumbag bullshit, dude. When I see scumbags in office doing scumbag shit, I will call it out. And I'm not a fucking dude that's just gonna go for one party or the other, dude. No, I'm an equal opportunity motherfucker when it comes to fucking calling it like it is, dude. If you're gonna scumbag me from either side of the fucking aisle, dude, any of the two major political parties, or even a fucking third party for that matter, if you're gonna be some douchebag, so-called libertarian and fucking be all pro-abortion, fuck you too, man. If you're gonna be some Green Party person spewing fucking climate change bullshit, you can eat a dick as well. I'm going to call it all out, bro. Call it all out. Let God sort them out, dude. Because that's how I fucking roll, baby. And I think a lot more people need to start rolling that way, dude. Call them all out, dude. Call them all out. Call them all on their bullshit. If they want to sit there and fucking, talk a bunch of crap or whatever the case be, fucking call them out on it, dude. I encourage it. And if you want to call me out on my shit, go on ahead, dude. I don't fucking care. You think I'm talking a lot of shit, fucking call me out on it, dude. And we can have an actual conversation and debate about that shit, I got no problems with that. It's the people that don't want to have those debates that are the ones that are typically the scumbags in this country, dude, because those are the people that are most want to be, slandering and defaming assholes, and then they don't actually want to discuss things with you when you're actually like, dude, why do you feel this way? And they're just like, I don't know. It's like, yeah, because you're a fucking idiot. That's why, dude. And that's the truth most of the time, honestly, is they have no real debate. Their whole entire thing is basically just like, I don't know why I hate you for that reason or whatever the case being. It's like, you hate me because you kind of hate yourself is what it is, man, most of the time. And I feel that to be the truth, honestly, in a lot of cases, dude. It's people that hate themselves that lash out at other people and, want to tear everything down or want to tear, others down or accuse other people of other things like that, when in reality they're the ones doing the shit most of the time is what it is, dude. So, and I feel like Tim Ryan is definitely one of those kind of people right now where he wants to sit there and, bitch and moan about like, oh, the insurrection thing or whatever the case being. It's in reality, it's like, no, bro, that's all your fucking side, dude. That's all shit your fucking side has done this whole time. If you want to have an actual honest debate and conversation about things, dude, like tell the fucking truth at that point. But you never will because you're a fucking lying asshole is what it is, dude. So, yeah, needless to say, like I said, I'm pretty much fucking over it. I've been over Tim Ryan's bullshit for some time now. I've been over the Democrat Party's bullshit for some time now. It's why I'm not going to vote for that party ever again. It's why I never will vote for that party ever again. It's why in a lot of cases, if I vote for anybody, it's not based on party politics either. It's based on the fact that it's like, hey, this is the person I think is the best candidate for the fucking job right now. I'm not going to, like, that's the one thing too, by the way. And that's one thing I'll even call out Republicans on, dude. Never vote fucking party line down the fucking ticket, dude. Because there are definitely some shady ass individuals that have gotten on those tickets that should not be in office. And if you're voting down line party ticket, dude, you're as much of a fucking moron as the rest, dude. Because you are also part of the problem and have not done your job as a voter in this country to actually inform yourself of who you should be voting for and why you should be voting for and what their actual party politics are or what their actual policies are is what it is, or what kind of platform they're actually running on is what it is, man. And that's how you get piece of shit fucking sheriffs like Charmaine McGuffey in office, dude. For those that don't know, Charmaine McGuffey is the current sheriff of Hamilton County, Ohio, right where Cincinnati's at. She is also a plant from Moms Demand Action, and I believe that she ran under a Republican fucking ticket. And that's the only reason she was able to get in there, dude. Even though her entire platform was basically, yeah, my whole campaign's being bought and paid for by Bloomberg and Moms Demand Action, yet somehow I'm still in the running here. And it's like, how the fuck are you still in office, dude, when you're admitting to fucking dark money and bribes and shit, lady? Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, that's another thing I don't get, by the way, is like the whole like funding of people's campaigns and stuff like that through that kind of means, dude. It's like, how is that not a crime in of itself right now? Like, you would think that would be a fucking high degree felony right now, honestly, in this country's history, man. Like, there's got to be case precedent someplace that should be fucking felonies in this nation, dude. And the fact that it hasn't been brought up right now is kind of ridiculous, I think. I'm gonna have to look into that stuff as a constitutionalist right now, dude, honestly, and see if there is like case precedent on the books for that kind of shit, because there really should be people going to jail for that kind of stuff, dude, honestly. When you're directly funding people's campaigns and they're admitting that you're funding their campaigns, and it's like, yeah, get the fuck out of here, bro. You're out of this race, basically, kind of thing. And that's again going back to this disqualification thing is for running for office and stuff like that, dude. Which, in of itself, like I said before, if you're sitting there running on a platform that you would be pre-breaking your oath to office if you would win, because you're running on a platform of anti-gun, anti-life, anti-free speech, stuff like that, dude. It's like, you're just done here, bro. Get the fuck out, And that's one thing. Well, where I will even disagree with some people here on YouTube that are people I've had debates with and back chats and stuff like that, dude. Where they'll be like, "Oh, if somebody, because they were talking about term limits earlier, is what it was on one of the other casts I was listening to tonight, and they were like, "Oh, but that's kind of bullshit, and it could be considered unconstitutional because if somebody wants to sit there and vote for the same person, 20 times in a row, whatever the case be, they should have the right to do that and stuff like that." And it's like, should they? Because again, if they're that fucking dumb that they keep voting in the same fucking dumbass for fucking, 20, 30, 40 fucking years, whatever it is, dude, maybe it's time for them not to have voting rights anymore, kind of thing, Like, seriously. And the thing is, like, again, unfortunately, there's not, there's this barrier right now where I'm not sure what can be said and what can't be said here. So there's things I'm not going to be able to say. But yeah, there's a lot of fucking chicanery in a lot of these fucking elections, dude. And the fact that when we don't have full election integrity, whether it be through voter ID laws and everything else like that across the nation right now, as you know, an actual broad brush thing, which should be a thing, by the way, in all 50 states right now. And I would say anybody that's against voter ID laws should probably be thrown out of office immediately because, again, they're probably the ones that are most likely to be cheating their way into office again, dude, is what it is. So, yeah, my whole thing with that is it's like, it's a bunch of crap, dude, entirely. And I feel like when it comes to stuff like that, when you have people that just don't care, is what it is, when they don't care about, the constituency, when they don't care about their country, when they don't care about the people of their nation, and they want to import the craziest sons of bitches possible into this nation to fuck over Americans, to backdoor us, whatever the case be. It's like, why should we be putting up with that crap, dude? We shouldn't be. That's the entire point. And the fact that so many people are willing to, bend over and take it in the ass from these people, it's ridiculous, dude. It really is. And I'll tell you what, as someone who has not done that and someone who will refuse to do that anymore, dude, like, I know there was a time period in history where I was definitely, it wasn't that I was like purposely bending over and taking it from people and shit, dude, but like, looking back now, my own voting record in my early, years of voting in my late teens, early 20s and stuff like that, dude, there was definitely times where there could have been better candidates I was voting for, dude. And it wasn't even party line stuff either. It was just, I had no knowledge of the things I know now. And it wasn't until I was woken up out of this stupor, if you will, that I finally realized now, like, yeah, I was voting the way fucking wrong way, dude, for a long time in this country. And unfortunately, when you're down that rabbit hole and you don't even realize that you're going down that rabbit hole yourself until you're already down the hole, and you've realized, like, oh shit, I done fucked up here, kind of thing is what it is, man. That's when a lot of people wake up and finally realize, and they're just like, oh man, that was a bad deal. And it's at that point in history then is when you finally have people finally waking up and realizing, like, now is the time to change things, dude. Now is the time to get something going. Now is the time to do something for the betterment of the people. And I think that's why we're starting to see this renaissance in this country's history of people just finally having enough, dude. At some point the pendulum swings. At some point the pendulum just swings, snaps, and breaks into a million pieces. And I believe that truthfully right now, we are heading towards the precipice of U.S. history where it could potentially be that second go around where it swings, snaps, and breaks into a million pieces. And when you have a new pendulum created that's much smaller after that, that's where you see real change at, because that's where you see real government tyranny going out the fucking window for something better, for a new constitutional republic, for a better constitutional republic, for a better founding of this country, for a new generation of constitutionalists to spring up and become something better than we were, become something potentially even better than the founding fathers were. And that would be a huge fucking boon for this country, dude, because that would mean that you would have a new generation of people who would be the new smartest men and women possible out there, dude. And maybe then we actually have some founding mothers too on that one, dude. Because that's the thing, we always talk about founding fathers, but there was a lot of founding mothers, dude, that unfortunately they didn't get their say when it came to, being able to sign their John Hancocks and stuff like that on the Constitution. And I believe if there was, you could have seen some good chicks out there, dude. Some Betsy Rosses, some fucking, Martha Washington, stuff like that. The ones that were doing the work in the backfields and shit like that, dude, during the whole time. The ones that were keeping their men fed and keeping this country afloat to make sure that everything went the way it needed to. Yeah, there was a lot of good people that got fucked over when it came to certain things in this country, dude. And I believe truthfully, we are definitely at a precipice in human history right now where you are going to see stuff happen again. And I think when it does, it'll be very, very interesting to see the flow of information when everything goes down, because I think you're going to see a lot of people do a lot of very interesting things in a very quick time period very soon in this country. And I believe that the day that that happens, you're definitely going to see things change in a rapid succession. And it's going to be a lot of cases for the better, because people are going to finally wake up and be like, what was it all for to begin with? And it's going to be the people that actually get it, is what it is. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and address something that's in the comment section right now. Yeah, we're talking about a flag, Betsy Ross flag. It's not just the flag, man. Yeah, it's the symbolization, okay, right? Like, yeah, they were sewing a fucking flag, but again, these were also the chicks that were out there, 6, 8, 10 hours a day in some cases back in those time periods, making food for everybody, making sure that everybody was fed and everything else like that, making sure that these guys could actually have the resources they needed to go to war to begin with, dude. They were, I'm sure, in a lot of cases, again, I don't know everything there was to know about history because I don't have a fucking time machine to go back there, dude. But I'm sure that there was some of these chicks where they would hide stuff in various places for these dudes, whether it be gunpowder in a barn cellar kind of place or something like that, or whether it be, maybe some rifles here and there and stuff like that. And my thinking is, you can't tell me that that person, or even in the same vein of things, right? Because there was like the, black robe clergy and stuff like that back in those days. Those were the, original um, priests, pastors, whatever you call it in this country's history, that were hiding the founding fathers in the churches and stuff like that so that they could write the Constitution. Because honestly, if you look at that, everything that happened back in that time period, dude, and you look at who our founding fathers were back then, dude, in today's day and age, they would be considered terrorists. They would have been executed publicly if they had been found writing this Constitution that we now know. And it was those priests, those pastors, those black robed clergy that were hiding them in these churches so that they could write that stuff, dude, and making sure that they were good to go. You know damn well that none of those guys had their fucking names on the Constitution, on the Bill of Rights, dude. Even though they totally should have. They're basically the footnotes of human history is what it is, dude. Black robe clergy, the women who were doing the sewing of Betsy Ross's flag and stuff like that, dude, and everything else like that, dude. So, and again, they are definitely a lot of the unsung heroes of this country, I believe. And that's why I believe, truthfully, we would see a new generation of founders. I'm sure a lot of them would be dudes again, but I think there'd be a couple chicks this time around. There'd be a couple chicks who would be what I consider to be alpha female, is what it is, dude. And like I mentioned before, when you see a true alpha female in this country, dude, that's when you see something amazing, because you actually see what it takes to get to that point. You see what it takes for people to have had enough and know that there is only a certain solution at a certain time. And sometimes, that solution is revolution. And sometimes that solution is maintaining a status quo until you can't anymore. And so I believe that there will be a new generation of people. And I believe that there will be a new founding in this country, dude. And I believe that we will go back to our original roots at some point of pure constitutionalism, of people truly living free again. Because right now, if I'm going to be honest, when you look back even 40 to 60 years ago, the last generations, Gen Xers, fucking baby boomers, etc., dude, they had it way better off than we did, man. Those childhoods, the late 70s, early 80s, the 60s, the 50s, stuff like that, dude, where you had none of this regulation, you had none of this fucking, You know, hell, even looking back 100 years ago for that matter is even better actually, because it's like, yeah, you had none of these licenses. You didn't have to go ask the government permission to go fishing or hunting or anything else like that. No, you just went out there with your gun and you took some game and you took it back to the fucking house. You know, usually you had the skill set to actually gut it yourself and clean it and everything else like that and process it down and everything else like that. And if you didn't, you knew somebody that did. Or it was a situation of like, oh yeah, you know, it's just like, okay, kids, let's go to the fucking pond and go catch some fish. Now it's going to be dinner for the night, you know? And now it's like, okay, big daddy government, here's, you know, 15, 20, $30, whatever it is now for a fucking fishing license, depending on the state you're in, or more in some cases, depending if you're out of state, dude. Hell, I've heard of ones that was like 60, $70 or something like that to do an out of state fishing license. And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Like, you want to talk about tyrannical taxation, dude? The kind of shit that led our founding fathers to literally rebelling against the British Empire? Like, that's what happened there. It's people that were just like, no, fuck you. No taxation with representation. And I could say that again right now, dude, because truthfully, when you look at people like Tim Ryan, that dude's not representing us, he's representing himself, dude. And it's as simple as that. Like, there is no representation in this country anymore at a federal level, dude. And it's why, truthfully, if we just said fuck it all and said fuck the federal government entirely, nobody voted in any of these races at all across the board, dude, Democrat, Republican, etc., dude, and we just said fuck them all, fuck the federal government entirely, dude, as a whole, and went back to a states' rights kind of issues and stuff like that, dude, we'd be much better off as a country right now. But of course, nobody's ever going to do that. So, you know, you can't let them win. Is what it is. You cannot let them win. And actually, that goes back to something that was mentioned in a Breitbart article earlier today, which was you had somebody mentioning something about how when it comes to poll working, and it was, you know, hey, Republican voter base, if you're not going to go out there and work the polls and be the, you know, poll people that actually count the votes and shit like that, the Democrats will be. So yeah, it needs to be the people that are on the Republican side and the independent side at this point, dude, need to be the ones getting out there and doing the poll working stuff, dude, for this midterm elections and every election going forward, dude. Because if we want to have true, free, and fair elections again, dude, that's what's going to have to happen right now. And that's what I'm saying. Those could be the people, honestly, that would be not only a footnote in history in the future, but would be potentially a new set of modern founders and stuff like that, dude. Would be the people that actually, you know, saw the shit happening, called it out, got it done, and got people removed from office for being massive voter fraudsters, etc., dude. So, anyway, that's pretty much where we're at for the day, though. Like I said, I think the JD Tim Ryan debate was good. I think Tim Ryan basically went full Tim Ryan. I think he was talking out of both sides of his mouth and his ass is what it was. And he was basically going on the whole party line talking point of not being able to really answer questions because, again, this is why. And if you look at every country's race across this country right now, dude, whether it be Newsom and company down there in California refusing to do debates at all and stuff like that, dude, it's because these people know when they are confronted and asked real questions and stuff, they have no actual answers to those questions. It's going to be some bullshit fucking canned answer that somebody responded to like 20 years ago or something like that, or asked 20 years ago and somebody answered like 20 years ago, and they just keep giving the same fucking answer instead of just being like, oh, I'm not actually a robot, I'm a real human being, and let me actually have a real fucking response to this stuff. And that's why I think when you look at JD Vance, dude, that dude was high energy as fuck last night. And he did everything he needed to basically call Tim Ryan out as bullshit, dude. And Tim had no fucking response to it. He was just like, I don't know how to respond to that. Like, and that's why, like I said in that one clip that I showed, when you have Tim just like putting his arms down on the side and was like, oh, fuck, I've totally lost this debate kind of thing. That dude was so defeated, dude. Like, he was so defeated. Like, he wants to act like he's some high energy motherfucker, and he's one of the lowest energy cucks in this entire fucking state right now, dude, honestly. And then JD, yeah, Vance just had his fucking number at that point, dude. He had Tim Ryan by the fucking balls, dude. If he pulled any harder, man, it would have been like some fucking ape just like ripping your nuts off, basically, dude, at that point. But that's a whole different story altogether. If y'all want to hear that crazy shit, man, go watch NEA's cast last night. That shit was fucking. I don't know how the hell they even got to that point, but I'm just like, because that's what I was looking back. I'm like, how the fuck did you guys even get to that fucking point where you're talking about that monkey dog war and stuff like that? Who the hell even knows anymore, dude? one thing leads to another thing leads to another thing, and all of a sudden you're talking about all kinds of crazy shit there with those dudes. So, but yeah, that's not me though for the time being. So, like I said though, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. I gotta do a couple things and I'm gonna head to bed because I'm getting pretty tired again. I haven't been sleeping well lately. I think I might have fractured my ankle in the last couple of days, or at least it's the it might not be a fracture. It might have been just a severe sprain. Then it seemed like it was okay for a little while, and then it seemed like the last few days I was fine. And then yeah, this morning I woke up and it was just I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know if it's the weather change and it's affecting it that way or what it is. Because I know I was walking around outside a few like a couple weeks back is what it was, and I end up stepping in like end up having to step in like a gopher hole or something like that is what it was, and or some mole holes or whatever they were. I'm not even sure what it was offhand. If it was like a small groundhog hole or whatever it was, dude. But yeah, I end up not realizing it was there, and I ended up stepping like into it, and it kind of like twisted my ankle all fucked up a little bit while I was carrying some stuff in the house that day. And it seemed like it was hurting a little bit right then, and then it seemed fine the next couple of days or whatever, and then it seems like it's been fine for a couple of weeks now, and then yeah, this morning it just started hurting like hell, and like I said, I don't know if it's like if I fucked something up in it or what it was, but I got an appointment at the end of the month, so hopefully, the doctor will do some x-rays or something here and be able to do something there because I don't know, man. Like, I hope I don't get a tear or anything like that because that'd be the worst thing right now is having to deal with that bullshit. And that's no good, man. That kind of shit is no bueno ever because you're basically in a whole fucking shit show of not knowing what the hell's really going on, and then you're just like trying to figure it out. And yeah, it's just not a good thing at all, man. So, like I said, hopefully it's not anything like real bad, but I mean, given the fact that I'm already to the point of just like serious pain in the foot now and shit, and like literally barely being able to walk right now, that's definitely not a good sign at all, man. So, yeah, I hope it's nothing serious, truthfully, but I mean, knowing my fucking luck, it probably is. So, you know, I'll tell you what, like the last couple of years now, I've had some of the worst luck when it comes to like injuries and stuff like that, dude. But at least I'll say one thing though. Even with this current pain, it's less than what I was experiencing when it came to corona issues and stuff like that, which that was fucking horrible, dude. That was like a 6 week time span that shit was in my system for. And it was basically running 104-degree fevers for a couple of days to where I had to put cold compresses on my head to break those fevers, to having like it seemed like bronchitis for like 3 weeks after that then. And like I said, for the first like 2 weeks or so, it seemed like it was corona shit, and then it became like some crazy bronchitis for like a month or something like that. And yeah, that was a horrible fucking 6 weeks or so, and that was Christmas last year and the early part of this year and stuff. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. But I realize now, looking back too, back summer of 2019, people always talk about how this shit was in our country a lot of time before they actually knew what the hell it was. I believe I originally had the first variant back then because looking back then, I was fine for almost the entire day. My brother was looking like death warmed over back then. And then yeah, it was like right as we were leaving that day, I started having like some real bad like throat issues and stuff like that and just feeling like real crappy then. And then as soon as we got home, I ended up taking like some random medications and stuff like that to see about, breaking like fevers and flus and shit like that. And went to bed for a while. And yeah, I just felt like crap for like a few days after that then. So I wouldn't be surprised in the least if I actually had corona back in 2019, honestly, before it was even a known thing in this country. And then, yeah, I just had it again then in 2021 is what it would have been then, like a more severe variant then, if that be the case. So, but hey, I survived. And I'll tell you right now, I will never take Big Pharma shit for that ever, dude. They can fuck themselves on that one. Because there's no reason to. There's no reason to ever, dude. You have it, you'll survive. If you can't survive it, you won't, dude. Is what it is, and it's as simple as that, really. You know, people don't realize shit like that, dude. It's like, you know, at some point, like people need to wake up and realize that, dude. Like, you're either going to be very well off when it comes to being able to survive something, or you're going to be fucked and you're not going to be able to survive that thing. And for us to shut down our country over some shit like that, like, are you fucking kidding me, bro? Like, are you fucking kidding me, bro? It's just so ridiculous, dude. To destroy an entire generation of children's lives over some fucking bullshit, dude. Like, what the hell were we all thinking, dude? Like, that's a question everybody should be asking themselves right now, honestly. What the fuck were we all thinking? You know, why did we let that happen? Why? 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 Why did we let it happen, dude? Why? Why? Of course, there's some people that won't ask themselves that question because, again, they seem to be the most, you know, brainwashed of all of them. But unfortunately, you know, at least there are some good folks out there that get it. And thankfully, we are now in history, time period in history where things will change very soon, I believe. And the longer that we have change and the longer that we experience, you know, good people doing good things, the more that we are going to have as society being better off then. And the day that that finally, you know, the mass awakening is what I'll describe it as, happens, and people finally wake up and realize that, yeah, there is something bigger than a two-party system. And, you know, do we even need politics at all is what it is in our lives? And people finally realize, like, no, that's just fucking stupid kind of thing or whatever. That's going to be a great day too, because you're finally going to see people be like, yeah, this has all been dumb as fuck, dude, this whole time. So, like I said, though, I think that's going to take a long time yet. I think there's a lot of people that don't want to actually wake up to that being an issue right now. And I think, unfortunately, until they, you know, wake up to that whole thing and realize, like, oh yeah, you know, this whole thing is fucking stupid, and you know, the whole entire system itself is, you know, rigged or broken or whatever it is, dude. Only then will we see real change in this country. And I believe it's going to take a lot. I believe it's going to take a lot of things, and I think it's going to take a lot of people. And I believe, you know, we have the numbers. It's just waking people up to the truth and getting them on board with the fact of, hey, you've been lied to this whole time. Now it's time to wake the fuck up and realize that no, these people do not have your best interest. No, these people do not like you. No, these people think you're shit. Why do you keep voting for them? Stop voting for them. Stop voting for them. And maybe then, and only then, will we finally see real change in this country then. So, like I said, though, if we're going to go back full circle to the actual topic at hand, though, JD Vance versus Tim Ryan debate, Vance definitely wiped the fucking floor with Tim Ryan's ass, man. He basically handed him his ass and was like, here you go, bro. And Tim Ryan's like, thank you, sir. May I have another? Ah, shit. And then, sorry. Caught myself on that one. And then you had Tim respond with very, very poor answers, is what it was, dude. Just and like JD said, in a lot of those cases, you had Tim basically avoiding the questions, and he really was, honestly, dude. It's like, oh no, I'm not going to really talk about this question. Let me go ahead and distract you over here and ask you why you had investments in China and stuff like that. And it's like, well, answer the fucking question, you idiot. Answer the actual question at hand. If you don't have an answer to it, that's fine, dude. Just mean you don't have an answer to it. But don't be some asshole trying to fucking deflect away to some other fucking retard nonsense question backwards, basically crap. And that's the problem, dude, with the ass clownery of politics in general, dude, is You just have a bunch of ass clowns, is what it is, bro. Seriously. So that's why if I ever do go on Twitter under the Ohio Patriot Education Network channel on there, I will usually be trolling people, is what it is. And by trolling, I mean quite literally just calling out politicians mostly all the time, dude. Calling them out on their bullshit, calling them out for being the fucking scumbag cunts that they are, et cetera, et cetera. Or like I showed earlier, that one with Nan Whaley there, with her bitching about, oh, DeWine didn't want to have a debate or whatever the case be. And it's like, yeah, because he's actually doing his fucking job, unlike you did, and fucking dating, you dumb bitch. Seriously, if Nan had done her job in May of 2019, the guy who committed the Dayton massacre, you would have actually had that asshole be arrested that fucking day at that fucking, informant fucking Klan rally they had going on there. The 9 Fed boys that were acting like they were the fucking Klan or whatever, dude. You would have had this douchebag Betts fucking arrested back then, and you wouldn't have had him be able to commit the Dayton massacre then, dude, because he would have been outed as a fucking psychotic nutty loon from 2012, and he would have been in possession of a fucking gun he shouldn't have had possession of, dude. So, yeah. But unfortunately, people didn't want to do their jobs, dude. And when you don't maintain law and order like that, you let people off the hook, and they end up committing future massacres, is what it is, dude. And then you got the fucking same Democrat Party that wants to fuck around in the back there and be all like, oh, but this is why we need to pass more gun control and red flag laws and all this other horse shit. And it's like, no, this is why y'all need to go fuck off a cliff together. Right into a prison cell, motherfuckers. For deprivation of rights under color of law. So, yeah, it's a bunch of crap, dude. It really is. And like I said, I'm so fucking sick and tired of all of it. I've had it with these people. I really have. And I am honestly to the point right now of enough is enough of it. It's time to toss them all the fuck out of office. It's time to do what needs to be done. And it's time to basically take this country back across the board. And if that means doing what needs to be done and taking this country back across the board through whatever means possible, hopefully legally, that's how it should be done to start out with. And if people want to be taking it to a different position or whatever the case be, and they want to be a bunch of dicks and do a bunch of fucking shady shit again and again and again and again and again, then it's time to call them out on that, dude. And it's time to again, legally remove them from office if that be the case, and hopefully help ourselves in the process by having a better constitutional republic when it's all said and done then. So, but yeah, at this point I'm just talking in circles. So mostly because I'm trying to do stuff as well here and basically get ready for bed, and I'm halfway falling asleep while I'm shooting this. So I think I basically have made my point in the last almost 2 hours now. So, and thankfully we didn't have any internet issues with the second go around here. At least I don't think we did anyway. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Like I said, I think JD definitely went for the throat of Tim Ryan and rightfully, do what needed to be done. He called him out on some shit. He called out the mainstream media themselves even on some shit. Made himself look very, very good in the position to win this Senate seat. And I think hopefully, come 4 weeks from now on November 8th, JD Vance will take down this U.S. Senate seat and become the new senator for Ohio and be hopefully a much better U.S. senator than anybody before him ever was, whether that be pieces of shit like Rob Portman and Sherrod Brown, whether that be other scumbags like even DeWine himself for that matter. And hopefully he will not be one of these fucking, loser ass politicians that just becomes an establishment rhino very quickly. Because that's one thing I do fear right now, is that possibility. Again, there's always that possibility with anybody, dude. Money talks, bullshit walks, all that stuff like that. And, if somebody offers you enough, money or whatever it is, sometimes you'll turn your backs on the people is what it is, man. Or if they, God forbid, sit there and, threaten your family and everything else like that, sometimes you're willing to bend the fucking knee to them is what it is, dude. So, I don't know, man. Honestly, I'll just say it like this. If I was in that position and somebody tried to threaten my family, first of all, I'd be hot mic'd at all times, is what it is, just so they can't do that kind of thing. I'd figure out a way to be recording every fucking conversation I have with everybody, is what it is, dude. And then it just becomes, viral videos then after the fact. Whether it be an actual like little recording device or fucking phone or whatever the case be, dude. Where it's just, conversations being recorded at all times kind of thing. Or something along those lines. And to the point where it's, if they're trying to get you a mutually assured destruction kind of thing where it's like, okay, we have this on you, but now you have this on us kind of thing. And it's like, oh, you don't have shit on me, bro, because fuck you is what it is. And I think that's the thing right now, that like going back to Trump's administration for a minute here, when you had, Trump in office, you had people like Putin and you had people like fucking Ping in China back the fuck down because they realized that Trump was a crazy motherfucker. Now, granted, he wasn't insane, obviously. He just did, like people didn't know what the fuck he was going to do at any time, is what it was, dude. Now, sometimes even he didn't know what he was going to do at any time. And that's what you need, man. You need somebody who's going to be like that, where it's, it's not really like erratic, but it would be kind of like controlled anarchy, I guess is what the best way to describe it would be, because it would be a situation there of you can be the guy that, looks at you one way and then it's okay, I'm going to pull some Sun Tzu shit on you from the other side is what it is, man. Art of war kind of thing. And that's one of the things with Trump, dude. Like he, read that book. He knows what the fuck he's doing there. And I believe that truthfully, in a lot of those cases, he's one of these guys that'll sit there and understand and realize like, hey, you got to get them before they get you kind of thing is what it is, dude. And unfortunately, I think in some cases he's made some slip ups in this time. And whether that be due to, his advancing age or whatever the case be, I think there's some unfortunateness there that doesn't really need to be. And unfortunately, we're seeing sort of a fallout in that because you have an individual who otherwise, had he not, how am I trying to say this now? Trump's biggest issue, honestly, is that he will let people dick shine him. That's the best way to describe that, by the way. And when you're letting people shine your dick and, give you all kinds of compliments and be like, oh, yeah, you're the greatest person ever, whatever the case be, those are going to be the kind of people that are going to be able to scumbag you the worst possible way, dude. And unfortunately for Donald Trump, he let a lot of those people in his inner circle, whether it be Jared Kushner and his brother, whether it be all these other fucking crackhead pieces of shit, basically, he let far too many of these individuals in that close-knit circle, dude. To the point where you had people literally calling that shit out and were like, bro, what the fuck are you doing over here? And it's like, why would you pick these fucking people? It's like, really, these fucking people, dude? Like, why? And I get exactly what these guys are saying, dude. It's like, yeah, why would you, associate yourself with those kind of fucking individuals, dude? When there is no reason for it other than the fact that you have been in some aspects compromised is what it is. And I'm not going to sit here and say like full compromisation, whatever you want to call it there, fully compromised, whatever it is. But yeah, there was definitely some stuff going on there with him where he let himself be put into a situation that he didn't need to be in. And unfortunately, again, when you're letting people shine your dick on and, doing that whole prideful thing, like there's a reason why pride is one of the 7 deadly sins, honestly. And I think that's one of the many things that Trump himself did not, realize or doesn't really want to admit to is what it is, dude. And it's even, going back to that dude's past with, him fucking around with Stormy Daniels when he was married to Melania and she was pregnant with Barron at the time. It's like, yeah, I get you don't want to be with your, wife or whatever that case be, dude. But it's like, again, are you really going to fuck around with some porn star chick? Like, come on, dude. That being said, though, the fact that was like the worst kind of scandals they had on him, are you fucking for real, dude? Like, And you got like that, see, that's what fucked with me, right? Like, okay, so you have two consenting adults in that situation doing stuff for, you know, money or whatever it is, dude. Doesn't really matter. And yet, meanwhile, you have fucking Biden creeping on his own daughter in the fucking shower and shit like that, dude. That they've now tried to scrub from the internet and stuff like that. And it's like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, what the hell has our world come to, man? Seriously. Like, it's just insane to me, dude. It really is. Like, it's just fucking craziness, dude. That we've gotten to that point in history now where you just have that kind of lunacy and everything else like that going on. And people just want to sit there and be like, oh, but Trump is so much worse. And it's like, is he though? Because pretty sure Biden is just a piece of fucking garbage, dude. Like, seriously. Like I said, I don't even know anymore, dude. Like, people are fucking crazy. And like I said, I think the worst thing is the longer that we go as a society right now, the worse things are going to get to a point where you're not going to be able to go anymore, you know, to a point where people are just going to have enough of it. And I think we're definitely heading towards that time period of history right now where people have finally just had it. They finally just had it. They finally are just over it. And they're finally done with all of it, dude. And I think when that time comes across the board, that's when you're going to see a very, very interesting change in this country's history. And I think it'll be at that point in time in history then that you will definitely see, like I said earlier, that full mass awakening and that full awakening event potentially across the earth. And it'll be on that day or in that week or whatever it is there that it takes place in will go down then in the history books that are written in the future by the next generation, the generation after that, et cetera, that will tell of that great mass awakening. And they'll be like, oh, so that's what it took to get here. And I believe right now, there's a lot of people who are not ready for that. There's people like myself that are. And I think there's people out there listening to this that are. But I believe truthfully, there's a lot of people that are so still, you know, just heads buried in the sand, lemmings running towards the cliff, that just don't want to wake up to it, man. Because if they did, it would break their fucking brains, truthfully. Because it would be, oh, wait, you mean to tell me this thing that I believe my whole life is a lie? Well, what else in my life is a lie? And I think that's what it is. They don't want to wake up and realize that, oh, this one thing is a big ass lie. Wait, is the rest of it all a lie too? Because it would mean that they would actually have to start thinking for themselves again. And instead, they'd rather just be willfully ignorant and have their heads buried in the sand. And it's unfortunate. It really is. So, yeah, it's just a sad situation all the way around for those kind of people. And unfortunately, those are the kind of individuals that, you know, if they're not awake by now, dude, if they haven't woken up to the bullshit by now, I don't think there's much saving them. I think they're going to perish when things get rough. And I hate to say that, but I believe it's the truth. And I'd rather let people know that now so that they could distance themselves from those kind of individuals and be able to be better prepared themselves for when things go south. You know, because one man, one woman, one individual, they can deal with a few threats to themselves, dude, whenever things go south. But if you're talking about a mob of 100 and something people, dude, or more, you're going to be fucked, dude. And that's again why it's time for strategic relocation in this country. It's time for us to start moving closer to each other. And it's time to start making, you know, red states redder. And it's time to start making different areas that believe in true conservatism and true constitutionalism and, you know, betterment of future generations and being against people that are for grooming kids and stuff like that, dude. You know, being against the pedophile agendas and stuff like that of our society right now. It's time for a lot more of those folks to start coming together and forming better communities is what it is, dude. So that their kids are not creeped on by sick fucks in the future and stuff like that, dude. And it's really as simple as that, honestly. Hope you guys enjoy this episode, and I'll see you all in the next one.